And welcome and hello, everybody. My name is Todd Nielsen. I am the co-founder for BizStarts in Two Rivers. We are a group that is dedicated to offering entrepreneurial opportunities for conversation, support, motivation, ideas, and direction for people young and old who are looking for the opportunity to start up their own business and be a success. And today, through part of Wisconsin Startup Week, we are very excited to be putting on a panel discussion for young entrepreneurs. And we have several really terrific individuals who are going to be on here today. We're going to get them introduced in just a moment. But just a quick plug that we're really glad you're here. If you know of some other people that are interested in entrepreneurship, some other young people that are maybe thinking about a business idea, if you don't mind, please just go ahead and share this stream if you're up on Facebook, or drop it up on Twitter or LinkedIn if you are coming to us via YouTube today. We definitely want your comments and your likes and shares as we go through the event today. So please don't be shy. And if you do have something that you have as a question for the participants today, we will be posting some of those things up in the chat as we go. So you'll be able to maybe see your question promoted on the live stream as well. And with that, without any further ado, I am going to turn things over to my co-host for the event here, Mr. Jeff Saxey of Light Up the Lakeshore, who can tell you a little bit about that event and sort of what kinds of plans are coming up, as well as some more about entrepreneurship for young people in Manitowoc County and across the state of Wisconsin, for that matter. Jeff, welcome. Great to see you again.
Hey, Todd. Great to see you as well. I see you've relocated a bit from from last week.
I always kind of shift it around a little bit. I like to shake things up.
Exactly. We're all stuck in our home offices these days, or at least a lot of us are. So thanks for organizing this. Obviously it's a big lift, and everybody across the state is hopping from event to event. It's great to do it virtually because it means that we can all do so in our sweats and what have you. Great feedback from the creative entrepreneurship event that we ran last week. I've already shared that with a few of my contacts out on social media, and there's some folks out on the West Coast that are giving some of our artists some love already. So it's great to see just the connections that we're building throughout the event and this week. So a few of the people that we'll actually be talking with today, and you'll be hearing from, have been engaged with the event that we've run now for the last 3 years called Light Up the Lakeshore. And it's an event that's focused primarily, again, on student entrepreneurs. And we'd actually reached out to a couple of our other former winners and contestants from Light Up the Lakeshore, but they're doing, they all have day jobs, which is basically to be students. So Elizabeth Hoffman, for example, who's a freshman at UW-Madison, who was our first student award winner, sends her regards, as does Kirby Halbert, who is virtual, but attending university out in North Dakota. But the purpose of Light Up the Lakeshore has always been around this notion that entrepreneurship, especially in small communities, is something that's vastly underappreciated. Because of the fact that, again, when you think about entrepreneurship as a pursuit, it tends to be something that's really the domain of bigger cities and bigger stories. But when you think about, the genesis of every great company starts with an idea, and those ideas are usually tied to the places in which those great ideas start. So if we are to inspire more young entrepreneurs, my hypothesis is, why not inspire them in the places that they are now and inspire them to bring businesses forward that can benefit the communities in which they live? Because, of course, as you build those businesses and build those ideas are inexorably linked back to the places where they came from, and maybe, a way of bringing some of our best and brightest back to our hometowns. And so with that in mind, we've run 3 pitch competitions in Manitowoc County. Our first in 2018, which was more of a young adult focused event, and then 2 high school competitions in 2019, and then this past June. The focus of what we're going to be doing with Light Up the Lakeshore in 2021 is to expand the scope of that event into other communities. We haven't really finalized what that looks like. It's possible that we're having conversations now with a couple of partners about the possibility of expanding that competition statewide. But however we do, we're going to be working with a couple of key partners, of course, Todd and BizStarts Two Rivers being one. Another great partner that we've been able to work with is a group out of Wichita, Kansas, actually, Moonbase Labs and Venture Ed Kansas, who have a platform called Venture Dash that we'll be using to manage that competition. Again, another product of young entrepreneurs. So we'll be rolling out the details of what Light Up the Lakeshore 2021 looks like really over the course of the next month, along with application deadlines, some announcements on potential prizes and sponsorship opportunities. But again, when you hear the messages that you and the feedback that we'll get today in this session, just think about the great ideas that you had when you were a kid. And think about if you had that right support and that right inspiration, how many of those great ideas could have turned into the next big business? So just remember again that everyone has a great business. It's just a matter of finding the right inspiration to bring it to life. So Todd, why don't we bring our panel in?
Thanks, Jeff. It's a great reminder. And without further ado, let me go ahead and bring in our panelists. Emilee Rysticken, Claire Myers, Maria Arunkumar, and Katie. I hope you're with us. We'll see. Welcome, everybody. So Emilee is our moderator in the conversation today, but it is an open discussion about entrepreneurship, and I'm sure it's going to be free ranging as we go. Jeff and I are going to step into the background here, but we will be around, and we'll be watching for questions up on the public channels as well. So without further ado, Emilee Rysticken, owner of Screaming Conuts, amazing new business in downtown Two Rivers, and it'd be great maybe to start out with some quick introductions for everybody. We'll be behind the scenes here. See you guys.
All right, so I'm Emilee Rysticken. I own Screaming Conuts. I started it at age 17, and we'll be answering questions and leading conversation today. Claire, if you'd like to introduce yourself next.
Hi, I'm Claire Myers. I work with Emilee at Screaming Conuts. I've been there for 2 years, and that's all about me.
No, that's not all about you. What do you want to do with your future?
Oh, well, later on in my future, I'm going to plan on opening my own Screaming Conuts, hopefully in the Sheboygan area. So that's my goal in life, and Emilee's going to teach me how to do that.
Maria?
Hi, so my name is Maria Arunkumar. I'm the founder of Build a Wedding. So it's a wedding planning app that helps couples plan their wedding without the process being too overwhelming for them. So I'm currently a senior at University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and I'm also the co-founder and president of the Collegiate Entrepreneurship Organization on campus.
Very nice. Katie, did you want to do an introduction about what you are looking to do?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just looking to start up a nonprofit animal shelter, hopefully.
So I had talked to Katie a few weeks ago about her startup. Maria, I had heard about your business idea back when you pitched it. I think Jeff filled me in on that, and I obviously work with Claire. So if we'd like to start, if anyone wants to start by asking questions, or I can lead the conversation?
I think you could lead the conversation. Sorry, unless Claire, you had something to say.
No, I was going to say the same.
Okay.
So, we will start with what first gave me the idea for starting a business. I was on my city's Two Rivers Main Street Board of Directors, and I had my business idea from a trip I took in high school. And being a board of directors with a bunch of local business owners and other leaders in the community really inspired me and gave me the confidence to do that. So a lot of it was who I surrounded myself with and the connections I had around town that gave me the courage to start the business. I don't know if Maria, you want to share your story?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But adding on to your point, I think it's a really good point that you made where you said that surrounding yourself with good connections and the right type of people, it can really like help you start up your company and your idea. Because most of the times, many people have like this really great idea, but they're surrounded by people who are like, let's have a backup plan. Let's go to college and just find a 9-to-5 job. It's much safer. So I think it's really cool that you mentioned that. So I think on my end, I didn't start out in the wedding planning business. I'm actually a huge nerd for event planning. So I love to plan events and birthday parties and all these things. And one thing I realized when planning these parties is that there's a lot of research that goes into it. You have to plan out every small detail, and there's a lot of steps to it. And I was so overwhelmed by every single event, and I realized this is just a birthday party. Imagine a wedding that's going to be 100 times more pressure for the bride and groom, and I didn't want them to experience that. I wanted to think of their wedding day as one of the best days of their life instead of like a burden that they're looking to get over with. So I think that's how I came up with Build a Wedding.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, I also have a point. So I didn't want to go into business. I always thought of going to college and getting a degree and then finding a job later on in life, just follow somebody else's path. But working with Emilee and getting to know Emilee very well, and her inspiration of being so young gave me like the courage to maybe I should try it. If she can do it, I can do it. So I'm really grateful to have those connections as well. Emilee giving me like the strength and like the confidence in opening up my own business. So I'm very grateful to have connections like her.
That's
and
amazing.
That, like, for anybody listening, a great option for like gaining confidence and being more comfortable with starting your own business can be like interning with someone that already has a business, or because I would consider Claire like an intern of mine. She does a lot of the things around my shop that I used to do, and next year she's going to do even more stuff that involves like running the business. So either get a job where you can watch somebody else and learn from somebody else, or finding an internship or some sort of resource like that, or even just getting in touch with other local business owners or people that are in your business category can be really, really helpful. Anyone else have anything to add?
No, I definitely agree. That was, I think, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this, but there is this program called, it's based in Milwaukee. It's called the Commons program. So what they did was they had a bunch of companies, and they brought in students, interns, and we would help solve a problem for each company. So and I volunteered to be part of a startup. And once I was part of it, I realized that it was such an awesome experience. I learned so much about how to be part of a startup, how to grow. And I think that really pushed me forward to move on with the idea. So definitely I agree with that point.
Yeah. The next question would be, how did you get started / who helped you the most? And that it goes right into that because like finding resources and things like that to gain confidence, I used Biz Starts, who's hosting tonight's event, to answer a lot of my questions. And it's also we have a local Biz Starts community, Two Rivers community, where we have meetings and things that you can join. It helps give a sense of community and helps, like if you do have any questions or need insight from anybody, it gives you a community of people that can answer those questions or connect you with people that can answer those questions. And I think that helped me a lot, as well as just being involved with people from my main street business owners and things like that. I was lucky to have my city behind me and a lot of people supporting me from my city. So even before opening your business, like just talking about your idea and gaining momentum and excitement about it, and finding those supporters and followers and people that can help you. I've made a lot of new relationships and connections since starting my business that I never thought I would have. I have resources for a lot of things, but and a lot of it is thanks to friendly people helping me out and connecting me with other individuals. So my family was also very supportive, so I was lucky to have that. But other than that, it really is about getting out there and connecting and searching for those resources like groups like BizStarts where you can go to meetings and get involved, because otherwise it's going to be hard to make those connections and relationships if you're staying, holed up in your house and not getting out there. So just finding different resources.
I also have a quick little point, is being connected with your community wherever you're starting your business is a great way to, start promoting your business. Like having somebody who is with you and whole group with you, ready to support you, ready to, not franchise, but ready to give you money. I don't know the word, but support you in your business is very good connection.
Yeah, you definitely, some people, I guess, could start a business alone, but it's not easy to do it alone. It definitely helps to have people supporting you and backing you and helping you out.
That's why you got to stay involved in your community too before anything.
Very true.
Absolutely, yeah. I think that, to be fair, I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have the support of my community, because as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of times where you get discouraged and you feel like, this is not worth it. And then when you have that good support system who's always telling you, it's fine, just give it a shot. What do you have to lose? It's really comforting, and it really pushes you forward. To answer the question, I think my biggest inspiration, the reason I got started with Build a Wedding, was my professor, Ryan Koth. So I came up with the idea in his class, and he immediately sent me a bunch of links to pitch competitions where I could sign up to. So I definitely signed up to a lot of them, and I think that's how I got my start.
Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for your comment. And yeah, good point. It's finding good resources like Todd Nielsen, who's running this panel. He's a great resource if you have any questions or need any resources. If he doesn't know the answer, he'll know someone that does have the answer or can help you find the answer. So someone like a professor or Todd over here, or someone, just a mentor of some kind to lead you is really great.
So for Maria and Emilee, so being so young at entrepreneurship, what was the hardest challenge that you guys had to face?
I need to think about this. Emilee, you can go first.
It's hard to pinpoint one, but for me, one of the hardest parts was managing it all. When you're getting started, especially I started a physical location and getting that all renovated and ready and prepared, permits, licenses, employees, just having everything set up in time for one specific deadline. It was constantly, every day, my head was just bombarded with 1,000 things, and they were all across the board. So staying organized and staying on track with everything I had to get done, because if you fell behind on one thing, let's say ordering signs for my building, the big light up signs, if I would have done that a week or two too late, my whole entire opening date would have been moved back. So it was like keeping all of my millions of tasks on a schedule where everything would get done in time. Todd also had said in the comments, being taken seriously. That was like a 50-50 thing for me. I had like half the people laugh at me and think it was a joke and absolutely going to fail because I was so young, and they were like, what do you know about business and blah, blah, blah. So I definitely had a lot of people doubt me, and even like people that loved and cared about me, some doubted me because it's a big financial risk and it could fail. So I definitely had people doubt me, and I had people not take me seriously, but it's like focusing on the people that do and focusing on the people that are improving you and trying to.
People who doubted you, did that make you want to push yourself harder and try harder to prove them wrong?
I would say, yeah, sometimes it did. Sometimes it really got to me, but sometimes like it definitely pushed me, and it was a very nice feeling when I opened up an opening day when I was packed, and it was like, finally, like we made it and it's working and it's going to be okay. But that was probably mine.
Yeah, I think to add on to your point, being taken seriously was definitely something that I struggled with as well. But yeah, there were a lot of people who took me seriously, and when I pitched something, they would take it seriously. But most of the times, you could see that in pitch competitions, when I'm trying my best, you could see some judges' eyes just glaze over because they're like, "Oh, that's a young girl talking about wedding planning." Okay, so it was kind of hard to be taken seriously and be like, "Please listen to me. I'm talking about something like really serious, and I'm actually like pouring my heart out to you." So I've grown to realize that there are people who are not going to take you seriously, and that's all right. I think we should just keep working hard and focus on getting connections who do treat you seriously and take you seriously and want to help you.
Very much agree.
Oh, so Ariel said, how is CEO at UW Green Bay in terms of events, connections, has a branch of, so Ariel is from UW Milwaukee and they have a branch of CEO. We also have CEO at UW Green Bay. We actually recently founded ourselves, so it's been 2 years, actually 1.5 years, I would say, since we started up, and it's been going pretty well. So we're doing this thing where we've changed complete to virtual. So we're bringing in speakers from entrepreneurial backgrounds and even like big corporations to talk about how you can be entrepreneurial in your business field, even if you're not a founder itself. So we do have speakers coming in once every 2 weeks.
That's pretty neat. I'm going to jump out of order on the questions I have set up because Maria, you're going to college, and that was a college question.
Right.
One of the questions I have set up are, do you see running a startup versus going to college as opposing or complementary things? So I can see it going both ways. I don't think you need to, I didn't go to college for business. I don't think you need to go to college to start a successful business. However, like you were just explaining, that sounds like an amazing program and something you could learn so much from. And like, I don't think college is necessary, like textbook learning wise for starting a business, but it definitely, if you don't have the means to make connections and like explore things like that on your own, going to college.
Oh. Did she get cut off? She's making such a good point. She's so bad. But I definitely see where she's coming from, because I used to have the same mindset. I mean, I used to have a different mindset, actually, where I thought that we don't have to go to college to start a business. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, you don't really need to. It's not a necessity, because anything you can learn in college, textbook-wise, you can take an online course. But what I think is beneficial from college is the connections you get and people you're able to meet who will potentially be your founders or like co-founders and presidents and CEOs. So, hi, Emilee.
Hi, sorry, I don't know what happened there.
Sorry, no worries. So I was just adding on to your point about how college is like I see it more of as a connection hub more than like a learning center. I mean, yes, it is learning. You can learn a lot, but it's more of a connection hub if you think about it as a road to startups.
I also think the option or the decision between college and not college for going to business can depend on what business you're trying to grow. I definitely think that if you're looking at starting like something big that you want to grow and be even like an online platform where you're selling nationally, I would have no idea how to sell a product on the internet, ship it, advertise it, things like that. I would have absolutely no clue. Starting a small business where it's all like in person and you can kind of figure it out day by day is not easy to do without college, but it's very doable. Whereas I would have a lot of problem and no resources if I were to start a different business, like selling a product online. So I think it really depends on what you want to start a business for.
Absolutely.
So to further that, so I was planning on going to college, then I decided to continue opening a business. And I'm getting a lot of backlash saying like maybe you should go to college for business and so on. But I'm thinking if I have connections, if I'm determined, I can figure it out. There's online sources, there's different sources that I can use instead of paying for college. But college is definitely a great source because you do have those classes, or you find people who are interested in the same thing you are, who are willing to push you and further that. And you also have like college business clubs like FBLA that you can join to also further your education. And
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. Sorry, go on. No, you're okay.
With Claire getting backlash for dropping out of college and choosing to start a business without going to school for a business, I personally, in my life, have noticed that the easiest way to learn anything is hands-on, like right there doing it. So, like I said, doing an internship type program or anything like that is a lot more beneficial or easier for me to personally learn than reading something in a textbook or doing a presentation in front of a class or something like that. Because it's easy to read things and act like you're learning, but then a month later you have no idea what you read in that textbook. And it's like when you're doing it hands-on, you have opportunities to screw. One of the best ways I've learned is just by like making mistakes and screwing up and then learning from that. And you never forget those big mistakes or those things that you screwed up and how you learned from it. So college is very valuable, but I personally have experienced hands-on learning is a lot better for me. So college is for
I agree with that too. Like I'm more hands-on, more somebody telling me how to do something and then learning by me actually doing it than reading. So I agree.
Yeah. I think that's a great point. To be fair, I don't really think there's one roadmap to success. I feel like everyone has their own journey, own strengths, and it all depends on you. So, yeah.
And that's just it. Anyone that's going to tell you that there's one right way to do any of this or to start a business or to start a career in general is wrong. There's no right way. You can get a job somewhere that requires degrees and you can get a job somewhere that requires degrees by not going to college, by starting at a lower job and working your way up, because you make those connections in that company and people see every day like what you're learning and what you can do. But yeah, there's no perfect roadmap to success or to life in general, that is. So
Absolutely.
so there's a
Oh, So we have Darla, who says that because of your young age, do you find that some people don't take you as seriously as they would a more mature person? I think we've touched on this, but Emilee or Claire, would you like to answer that?
I would say absolutely. I haven't, like, it's hard to say because some people see a young entrepreneur and they're impressed. They're very impressed and excited. And I feel like those are the right kind of people because you should be excited about like a young entrepreneur starting a new idea that could grow and potentially create jobs and things like that. So I'd say before I opened, yes. Now that I opened, I feel like I get more people that are just impressed and like happy for me, and they take me seriously because I succeeded. Although I feel like beforehand, people didn't take me seriously because I wasn't mature, especially since I was 17. When I had like taken on the project of opening the business, I hadn't even finished high school yet. So, I mean, someone without even a high school degree starting a business, I definitely felt like some people thought I was a joke, or just you can have $1 million idea, and because you're young and inexperienced, people won't take you seriously, which sucks. But that's why you have to work hard and prove them wrong, and then hopefully they will take you seriously.
So working with Emilee when she was just starting out, a lot of people asked like Emilee's her experiences. They asked like how old she is. They always ask like where she got the idea. People assume that she got her idea like, I don't know how to put it, but people just thought that her idea was from somewhere else and she copied that idea. They didn't think that she actually thought of this idea on her own. Yes, she found this in Prague, but no, she took it to a new level. She put it into a community. She used local ice creams. Like she took a big idea and put it into a business. And I feel like people didn't really know that. They just thought she didn't think of it and somebody else thought of it, and then she brought it to Two Rivers.
That's a great point. But because like when I first opened, a lot of people thought like my business was a franchise.
Yes.
And I was like opening up a franchise of an already created business because they were like, you're 17, like you couldn't have came up with this or like made the logo and opened a store and a brand by yourself. Like that cost. So a lot of people did like walk in and be like, oh, so where are the other stores? Like, where else is this located? It's like, well, this is the only one. I actually started it. But yeah, that did happen a lot.
Yeah, that was.
I love that.
So I also, people kept coming up to like the workers and saying like, oh, Emilee's 17 years old. Like, how old are you guys? So they always questioned our age based on her age. So that kind of like brings this perspective, like, because she's young, we all have to be young.
Right.
Yeah, some employees are a couple years older than me.
Emilee, you're breaking up on us again.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
You're in and out.
Testing.
There we go.
Okay.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So how did you create your app, or how do you create your online
app? Well, to be fair, like I'm more on the business side, so I didn't really have much help on the technical side. So I had this idea brewing for like 3 years, I would say, and I was going to pitch competitions and getting money out of them, and I was just saving up. And recently, I entered the Wisconsin Tech Connect event, where it was all about connecting the business side to the technical side to form like a startup. So there, when I pitched my idea, one of the most impressive candidates was Trevor Damon, and he reached out to me, and he seemed like such a wonderful fit with the company, with his energy and like his technical expertise. So we immediately got him on board, and both of us started working on the app. So we're still currently in the process of building it out, but we're so close to building out the alpha prototype, which is hopefully launched by the end of November. So we're hoping to use that, to get customer feedback to see how well we would perform in an actual market. Yeah.
That was a really good question. I also as like, how does one make an app?
Yeah,
Right.
I always wonder that. Like, how does that app get created?
Yes, no, absolutely. I think it was, I was just so bad with technology, and I just couldn't do it by myself. So I was so grateful for the connections I made, which helped me get like the right people to me.
Again, a great point in making connections. Like,
Right.
A business idea doesn't always have to be a one-man job. Like, teaming up with other people that have other skills and you can like mutually benefit off of each other. That's also a beautiful thing and a very useful thing. And again, a great thing you can find by being involved in events like BizStarts or organizations like BizStarts, or going to college and discovering those things.
Mm-hmm.
So would you guys ever see yourself when you were younger opening up your own business or starting your own franchise?
No.
Weirdly, I did. I thought that was super cool, but in my mind, it was the Hollywood movie style. Like, you have one great idea and you have one big hurdle, and then once you overcome it, you're good. You're set for life, you know. And then so I was like, I totally got this. And then I became older and I actually went into it. I'm like, oh my god, this is not what I expected at all.
Much work involved.
Yeah.
It's not as glamorous as that. But
Oh, hi, Katie. I think she's on.
I never pictured myself opening a business. It was a very rash decision I made at the age of 17, a month before I bought my building, because again of the people I was surrounded with and the people that were like inspiring me on the Main Street Board of Directors. I don't think if I wouldn't have been a part of that and involved with those people, I probably never would have started a business in my entire lifetime. I probably would have went to college and gotten a normal 9-to-5 job. So yeah, I did not, and that's okay. Everyone's path changes, like everyone's plan changes. Unexpected things are sometimes the best things. So.
Yeah, but I'm so glad you're able to make those connections, because you definitely seem like the startup type, not the 9-to-5.
No, the 9-to-5 was never for me, but I thought that's the other thing I wish like younger people knew, is that there's so many different options out there besides the 9-to-5. Because I didn't necessarily I wasn't against opening a business. It's just like I didn't think that was an option for me. Well, I thought going to college and getting a job was like the only route, the only option. That's what I had to do to succeed and have like a stable life. So being involved with those people exposed me to the fact that other options were out there, and it wasn't just college. Because it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't that I was against the idea. It was that the idea wasn't even in my head or presented to me in any way.
No, I totally agree with that too. Like when I went to college for not even a day, I figured out it was not for me. I went to an orientation, they were talking, I'm like, I don't see myself here. I loved school. I was a straight A student. I loved going to classes. I loved studying. Like I thought going to college was my thing. And then figuring out it wasn't, going to Conuts, talking with all the employees there, talking to Emilee, and I'm like, Emilee, I see myself working with you. And that was a great feeling. It was stressful, like, what are my family members going to think? What are, like, my grandparents going to think? Because they're very strict on, like, you do this and you go to work. You go to college, you go to work. like that's the normal lifestyle. So telling them was very hard, but you know, there's other paths. And now they just want me to go to college for business, which
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. We'll think about it when the time comes.
Yeah, it'll happen when it happens.
And another good
Yeah.
point to bring up is just because like sounds like me and Maria's ideas are going well, not just because you want to get into business doesn't mean your first idea is gonna work.
Yep.
You can have what seems to be a great business idea, and maybe it was the wrong time, and it was the wrong location, or you didn't do something well enough and it fell through, and that's okay. Either you can try again in a year or two, or you can try a different idea. Like business isn't I have an idea and it's gonna work. Like you can be a smart, amazing, like brilliant person that has all the like qualities and ability to open a business, and your first idea doesn't work out, and that's okay. Like that happens to people, and maybe your next idea will be that $1 million idea that takes off and works out. So
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Oh, Katie, would you want to jump in and talk a little bit about it?
What do you want me to talk?
Oh, sorry, Emily.
You're good.
Go ahead.
If you just want to, I would like to hear Katie talk about what she wants to do and why she came up with that idea. Like I heard about it, but I think it's a cool thing, and she has a different perspective because she wants to start a like nonprofit organization versus a business, and
Okay.
I think that's also a great idea. So
I actually I brought a dog home this past. Florida has a lot of high kill shelters. So my goal would be to connect to a lot of people down south, because Texas too, they have a lot of high kill rate animal shelters, and I don't agree with that. I have 4 dogs, so I would like to, save them all if I could.
No, that's amazing.
yeah, I love talking to Katie when I first heard about her idea because I agree with her ideas so much, and I think a lot of people would, because everyone loves dogs, and
Who doesn't?
no, seriously, everyone does. Like, so
I think I cry more when something happens to my dog than something happens to my actual friend.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like the idea, she wants to do a no-kill shelter versus a regular dog animal shelter, which is amazing. Todd has a good comment over here. How will you fund your idea? Foundation support and grants, another method. So another thing we could talk about is just grants in general, because for a lot of small business startups and nonprofit organizations, there's a lot of grant opportunities out there. And I think a lot of people either don't know about them or don't know how to find them. And so researching that kind of stuff, or like I said, again, getting involved with organizations like BizStarts. There's people to ask those questions, and there's people to find those kinds of things out. I know I talked to Katie a little bit about possible grants because she wants to start her shelter in Manitowoc. So another thing you could do is go to your city and see if the city is offering any sort of grants, as well as your state. A lot of people offer free money for especially young female entrepreneurs.
Oh, Stephanie. I love Stephanie. She's giving so many comments, and I'm feeling so excited about it. She says, I think younger individuals that get into entrepreneurship bring fresh ideas that adds excitement and new voices. I love that. Thank you so much.
That is a great point. And
Yeah.
especially like all the things I've been involved in, BizStarts, my city, things like that. I'm usually the youngest person there and one of the only young people there. And a lot of people like my insight, but also we want more, like to get more young people involved in the conversations and to give ideas and make connections, because maybe it takes a 17-year-old to team up with someone 45 years old that has a bunch of knowledge, and those two team up and make an idea happen. I don't know.
Yeah. So Daniel says, hey guys, was there ever an aha moment for you that pushed you over the edge to begin your journey in your specific fields? Was it simple as following your passions? Wow. Okay, that's a really good question. Well, do you guys mind if I go first?
Go right ahead.
Awesome. So I actually had this idea, and the first ever pitch competition I went to was Light Up Lakeshore pitch competition. So that's before the competition, we had like an advisory meeting where we sit down with the judges and we discuss our pitch and see how we can improve. So when I went in there, Todd was there too, and he was one of the most inspiring people I've met. And I think it was definitely a little bit heartbreaking at that time because I had to scrape my whole idea and start over. But I think it was for the best because I learned so much from them, and I took the criticism they gave me and I converted it to a pitch that won the competition. So that was definitely my aha moment where, okay, now I'm on the right track. Like now I'm like set, like I just have to keep going. And so I think that was my aha moment, I would say.
I just want to piggyback off of your Todd comment. Finding someone like Todd is so great for everybody, and I hope some people reach out to Todd and connect with him because the excitement, he cares towards everyone and everything. You can talk to him about the smallest idea that you just had. Like, it can be a seedling of an idea, and Todd will just go crazy. He'll be like, oh my God, that's a good idea. Where do we start? And like, he'll you, and just being around him like encourages you. So my aha moment was, as I said, I was on the Truly's Main Street Board of Directors, and it was actually before a meeting. We were waiting for everyone to get there, and we were all just hanging out. And I had this idea that I found when I was 14. I went to Prague. I saw these chimney cakes, they were called, which is the donut ice cream cone. And when I was 14, I was like, wow, that would be really good, like, here. I mean, we're Wisconsin, we love ice cream, we love dairy. Why don't we have donut ice cream cones? So I had that idea then. When I was 17 on this board, meeting, I just kind of brought up the idea casually like a joke. Like, I was like, yeah, I had this idea when I was 14, haha. And all of a sudden the entire board was like, wait, why aren't you doing that? Like, that's incredible. And there was a realtor on the board, shout out Travis Stevens, Remax, and he immediately was like, if you want to look at properties, like, let me know. We can go anytime, like we can look at any property. And within a week, we had set up a appointment, whatever, time to go look at this building. And immediately I said, this is the building, we're doing it. And I bought the building. So my aha moment was like, it all happened very quick. As soon as like I had the moment, it all just started steamrolling, and that's how I did my journey.
I think
That's beautiful.
My moment was actually like working with Emilee. Like, if I never went to Screaming Conuts, started out as an employee, learning everything firsthand right away, just dishing out ice cream, that's all I did. If I never made that connection with Emilee, I would never have the idea of opening my own Screaming Conuts.
And me and Claire were absolute strangers. Like,
yeah,
I hired her. I had, like, we knew of each other from school, but I probably never had a conversation.
To be honest, Emilee used to scare me. I had to share.
No, to be fair, I think most of my best friends have always intimidated me at first. We used to be like, what's your first memory of me? I'm like, I used to be so scared of you. Like, I thought you hated me. Yeah.
I used to be threatened.
Right.
And then I sorry, Emilee, I'm calling you out.
No, it's
No,
I feel like
it's the truth though. Like she was a grade above me. She was, she was an intimidating senior when I was a junior, and then I'd grown to like get to know her, and I figured out like, oh my gosh, you're great. And I want to be like you. I want to follow you. I want to, I want to learn from you. So that's my aha moment.
Love that.
Katie, did you want to talk about your aha moment or?
I really don't have one. I mean, I know that there's going to be a lot when I get it up and going, as in every business.
Awesome. I think we had a previous comment.
Here it is.
How did the process of naming a company service go for all of you? Ooh, I love to talk about this. So actually Build a Wedding was a placeholder for until I found out an actual name. And I was like, how do I explain my company better? And I decided that it's something like Build a Bear, but instead of building a bear, you're building a wedding. And that's how I used to explain it to people. And I just said the name Build a Wedding so many times when I practiced pitches. I was like, this is perfect. I'm not going to change it anymore. So I just stuck with it.
It does roll off the tongue really nice. It's very catchy.
And
thank you.
You know exactly what's going on. Like
right in the wedding. It's right in
Love that.
Mine's actually a good story again about making connections. I actually didn't come up with my name. Well, I kind of did, but I was working at a local department store, and I was the barista in the coffee shop, and there was a men's department, a women's department, and a toy store, and whatever. So when I first decided to do this, I bought a building. I started renovating it, and I still didn't have a name. So I was working at the coffee shop, and me and the man working in the men's department, one day it was slow, and he just kept walking back and forth. He would come visit me, and he'd go, "How about this?" And I'd go, "I don't know, blah, blah, blah." And then he'd be like, "Okay, I'll be back in 2 minutes." He'd go back to his part of the store, and he'd like jot down a few other things or like edit what he already had, and then walk back. And eventually we like pieced together a bunch of his ideas into my name, which is Screamin' Conuts. It means ice cream and conuts, as well as screaming conuts. So it's like a dual meaning. But that's how we came up with it. And it was, I couldn't have done it without him. So
I love that. It sounds like a scene out of a sitcom, honestly. It's so cute.
Yeah, it was very, and we had a great time doing it. So
I love that.
So how did you guys come up with your logos or your colors?
Right. Actually, so how I came up with the logo was I designed it myself, like I had a very clear vision of what I wanted it to be. So I hired one of my friends who is a graphic designer who's in school for graphic designing. And I was like, hey, I have an idea. Could you drop the logo for me? And once she started sitting down with me, I realized that the process was way more complicated than I thought it would be. Like, there's so many colors. I'm like, what is this? There's so many shades. I'm like, this is crazy. So I think it took us like 1 week to come up with a color scheme that I was pleased with. So at the end of the day, I wanted to make it a very gender neutral one, which wasn't too feminine, too masculine, or like hinting at that we're supporting only heterosexual marriages. We wanted to be very inclusive of everybody. So we kind of landed on a scheme that I think reflects that.
Very cool. Mine was a little less complicated. I basically drew up with pencil and paper this ice cream cone, and I didn't know where to go from there. But my dad, his best friend from a young age, was his best man at his wedding. Actually went to school for graphic design at that time, so sent him a text message like, "Hey, do you think you could turn this pencil drawing into a graphic design?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." So he converted it into a graphic design, and then we played around with fonts, and he would like send it to me. I'd be like, I don't know about that font. Maybe if we adjust a little bit, send it back and forth, and then eventually we landed on a thing. But it was so, like, having that connection. He did it for free because he was a friend of ours, and it was a fun experience. Color scheme, I just thought ice cream and thought blue. I don't know. There wasn't, and I thought they looked pretty together. So that's about as complicated as it gets.
People see pink, they think of ice cream.
Yeah, my
I love
entire
that.
building was actually painted pink. So
That's beautiful. Oh my God.
it's a little obnoxious, but it works.
No, I would be so happy coming in. I feel like my mood would instantly lift.
Here's the original drawing.
Oh my God. Wow. I
He
love
put
that.
that into a logo. I think that's it. Or no, this here. This is what I made at the coffee shop, like while I was working.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I was in FBLA my senior year of high school, and we had to design like a school, and like you have to graphically design like your logo. So I definitely know how much stress it is to put together a logo. Like literally,
Right.
you have to think of all like the fonts, the color, the size,
Yes.
like all the little things that you never think of. Like I always thought it was just an image and
Right.
like, write your name. But yeah, going down to the graphic design room and like they're telling you like use this shape because it, like I don't know, they just go on and on. They're like, this is eye catching. It just you never think of that stuff.
And when you
Right.
know, like you can play around with logos for a while, and as soon as you see the one, you know it. Like it'll speak to you. So if you're like struggling with logo design or even coming up with a name, just keep brainstorming. Talk to people. Like talk to a lot of people because I never would have came up with my name on my own. So bouncing ideas off of other people and just chatting with friends
And
and
like a spectrum too, like not just all females or all males. Like you want like variety, different ages.
yeah.
So
It can be incredibly helpful. So don't lose faith if you're not like hitting that aha like image or name. Just keep going, and eventually like you'll know when it's right. It'll
click.
How about Katie? Do you have a logo for your nonprofit?
I don't have a business name or a logo, so if any of you guys have any ideas, definitely send them to me.
Absolutely. Yes.
So Katie, are you only doing like dogs? Are you doing all animals? Like what's your thought process on that?
Well, I'm gonna actually go for like grants and get as many as I can, and the more animals that I do take in, the more grants I'm able to receive.
Wow.
So go for, everything.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna try and backtrack on the comments that Jeff and Todd are leaving in the margin. Jeff said, "How are you building your business or brands through social media? I know that all of your business ideas have such a strong visual element." That's a great point. Some people pay for advertising, but another great way to advertise your business is just through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. It's free. It's in the palm of everyone's hand. Everyone's on Facebook. Absolutely anybody. So, I mean, starting a business page and having a catchy logo, and then inviting all your friends and family to like it, share it, that has a lot of power in itself. And then posting frequently on those pages, posting pictures of your product, posting sales you're having, posting events, just things like that, and having a following that can share them is very beneficial. Also, Facebook has the boost button where you can pay, and then Facebook will boost your advertisement or your post to a larger demographic of people, or make it go to the top of like the people that are already following you's page. So it gets more visuals. I've also had the opportunity to do a television ad through Channel 5. That helped a lot. But otherwise, a lot of my advertising is through Facebook, Instagram, and stuff like that.
And I feel like when you have those platforms, those media platforms, people want to post on them too. So they want to post their kid with their ice cream because they want to show everyone, like, everyone loves this treat. So that gives more.
A lot of my business, or a lot of my advertising was done by other people, like snapping pics and sharing with my page or leaving reviews.
And your merchandise, people wear that and they're like, oh, where's that? Like, I have that at work too. Like, I wear my Screaming Conuts sweatshirt and people are like, oh, Screaming Conuts. And I'm like, we're in Manitowoc. You guys never heard of it? And then I tell them. And then they're like, oh, we're definitely coming there that summer or next summer. So
merch.
That's super cool.
I didn't even think of that. Merch is a big deal. Like selling things with your logo spreads the word more than anything else. I remember one of my employees went, I think it was like the Minnesota State Fair or something ridiculous. And they actually crossed the line wearing the shirt with the Screaming Conuts logo on it, and they snapped a picture and sent it to me. And I thought that was absolutely insane. Like in Minnesota at the state fair, they saw a Conuts t-shirt, and I was like, that's so cool. Very cool.
I love that. Actually, I think that I'm still on that side of thing where I don't have a tangible service or a product yet to present. So instead of marketing the product or service, I instead market myself as the founder. So I market to people who I am, what my idea is, and what type of person I am. So this way they can get to know who I am and see me as someone they can potentially work with in the future. So one thing I do is I'm very active on LinkedIn. So recently, one of my biggest successes that I'm proud of is that I posted a 1-minute pitch of Build a Wedding on LinkedIn, and it got over 2,000 views, which I was super pumped about. Yeah. So I think that marketing, if you don't have a tangible product or service to market, marketing yourself is the next best step.
Yeah. And then even in like your community too, like people see you as a good person. They want to help you. They want to have you as a service. So that's very cool.
Absolutely.
And even like before I actually opened my business, and like say before you launch your app, you can still make Facebook pages or Instagram pages, and like you can hype it up and be like opening soon or launching soon, get people excited about it. You don't necessarily need to have the service yet or have the business yet.
Right.
Facebook is a great way to spread the word in general. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree.
So, Emilee, how do you cope with like hate comments?
Usually I don't comment back because that normally doesn't go well for me. I have a hard time keeping my cool. So if I do respond, I try to like if they have a complaint or something, try to be nice about your response, like very nice, or say they had a bad experience, be like, I'm sorry you had that experience. And maybe try again or come back again and see if blah, blah, blah. Or say, the feedback, we're trying to improve or something like that. But other than that, like either after hours with my employees, I'll like rant about it a little bit and get my anger out. Or if I'm with my family, I'll like scream about it for a little bit and then like just let it out. And then you're like, hey, I don't care. It's fine. Like, one bad comment in
more love than hate. There's more.
Yeah. One bad comment in a bunch of good comments. It sucks. It hurts. But like, I found it best to just like find a way to get that anger out, like by talking to your friends or family and not commenting back, because you do not want to start a fight with a customer.
That's really good, because I think I sometimes have very low patience for people, and I think I get riled up for hate comments. So I love how you're dealing with it so elegantly.
Yeah.
Okay, are you gonna pay your employees? Or are you gonna have all voluntary? So what's your idea on that?
Well, I do have a couple friends that actually said that they would volunteer for me. So
very cool.
That's
See,
amazing.
connections.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think you could get a lot of volunteers for something like that because a lot of people do care.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And plus, you're in a local community too. Like, there's high schools who need volunteer hours. Why not volunteer at a young person's startup business?
Right.
That's a good point. For Katie to like market her nonprofit through schools. There's a lot of young high schoolers that need volunteer hours or
40
even
hours, 40 plus hours.
yeah,
And who would not want to work with dogs?
right. What a
Right.
great volunteer project. Todd said, "What advice do you wish you had given your past self?"
Oh, interesting. Actually,
Sorry, you can go.
oh, so I was going to say that I think to be more confident in myself. I think in the past there has been times where I doubted myself, and sometimes even if I did get through to the semifinals, I'd be like, am I just a diversity slot that they're using to fill up? Like maybe my idea wasn't good enough. Maybe they just needed someone of color to fill their slots, you know? And I used to always beat myself up, like thinking that I'm not good enough. And it really affected me and how I portrayed myself. And I decided that, you know, it doesn't matter if you're a woman, if you're young, or you're a person of color. Like an idea is an idea, an opportunity is an opportunity, and I'm going to take every opportunity I'm given to succeed in my idea.
I'm glad you got there because you have a very strong, like, influential voice. You've been like,
Thank you.
on this panel and saying things. I'm like, wow, she's
Thank you. That's really touching.
like, you seem like someone that could kick some ass.
Love that.
For me, it was kind of like I wish I was able to look at myself when I was having like major moments of like anxiety and panic and like just so much going on. I wish I could tell myself like, breathe. It's gonna be okay. It's all gonna work itself out. If it takes an extra week or two, like it will be okay and you will survive and it will turn out. Because there was so many times where it wasn't necessarily that other people made me doubt myself, but like I would doubt myself because I had so much on my plate and I was like, how am I, one person, ever gonna get all of this done? Like it's impossible. There's no way. I can't do it. And I would get stuck in those moments when I would get worked up. And it wasn't necessarily logical thinking because it was definitely doable and possible. And there were a lot of people that were willing to help me, but I would get stuck in those moments where I was just like, this is like, I would just get so anxious and worked up. And if I was just able to take it, like slow down, lists are really helpful. I discovered that a little later than I wish I would have, but making a list of like what you have to do and the things to get done and stuff like that, and then checking them off when you're done, like
satisfaction.
It makes you feel really good, especially if it's like a big task and you finally are able to check it off. Like it also, you can visually see your progress as you check those things off. And
Right.
I didn't really utilize that when I was starting up, but I wish I would have because lists are very helpful.
No, absolutely. It definitely helps me deal with my anxiety as well. Because when you don't have a list, you're just like anxious and you don't know what you're anxious about, and you write them down. I'm like, oh, there's only 3 big tasks. Let's do this. You know.
When it's all just sitting in your brain, it seems like so much, and it seems so overwhelming.
Then you write it out, and it's like, oh, that's not that much.
Yeah, I can
exactly
that on Wednesday and this on Thursday, like easy peasy.
Right. Exactly.
So, and just like making a list can also help you prioritize things. So it's like you organize your list by things that need to get done soonest to things that maybe you have a little time to take care of. So I wish I would have utilized that more back then.
So I would tell my young self that everything's going to work out in the end. I grew up with, well, I was born with dyslexia, and I got a lot of hate when I was younger because I was in the lower classes for reading and writing. But I proved the people that were hating on me wrong when I showed them in high school and I was in the same reading grade. I was acing reading, writing, math, and I'm here now. Like, I survived. Like, having a little reading disorder, like, definitely does not make me less of a person compared to anyone else. So I'm very grateful that I got the courage and made myself a better person out of it. I didn't yell at anyone. I didn't throw fists. I just proved them wrong by making myself better.
I love that. I'm so proud of you. That was so inspiring.
Oh, thank you. But that
I can see Claire at school beating someone up because they were making dyslexia.
That's why I wanted to be a police officer.
All right. So we should probably start wrapping things up.
Yep.
We have 15 minutes yet, but we are talking a lot. So Todd said maybe some final takeaways or final words. Someone else to start.
Okay. Katie, do you want to start us off?
I mean, if you have something in mind and you go for it, do it. Because I waited so long to like get into the process. Like, this is something I've always wanted to do since I was like 18. But then more so, seeing all the animals down south that are in the kill shelters, and now it's like, oh, I wish I could have started this earlier. And so you gotta stick to your guns and do what you want to do.
Definitely a good point. Definitely a good point. Don't let money or practically money let you down. Like, you just gotta put your money down. Like, you're gonna be in debt. It's gonna happen, but it's gonna pay off in the end.
Yeah. We're always going to be in some form of debt, so why not be something that we're passionate about?
Well, exactly. Like, I looked at it as like starting my business was the money, seeing all of the checks I was writing. Like, blacktop cost 10 grand. I was like, oh my God, like, I can't do this. And
right.
You try to step back and you're like, okay, wait. The amount I spent on starting a business of my own that I run and I call my own probably resulted in the same amount of debt that someone going to a 4-year university
definitely
is racking up. So like, here I am already working my dream job, doing what I want to do and making money back. Sure, it's a large chunk of debt in a short amount of time to fork over, but it's worth it. You're going to be in debt eventually in some point of your life, so might as well make it count.
I love that.
Do you want to say your final takeaways, words of advice, things like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think my final takeaway is, honestly, anything is possible. Like, if you have an idea, honestly, just go for it. If you're looking for a sign, this is a sign. Take that idea and start doing something with it. It's probably like, it's gonna take a while and it's gonna take a lot of hard work. But if it's something you're definitely passionate about, I would suggest to really go for it.
Be the best you can be. That's what I always say.
I love that.
My final words would be just that I want to encourage more people like us to do what they want to do, because like I said, when I was in high school, I thought the only option was going to college and getting a job. So like,
that's what we were told.
Yeah. That's what society trains you to believe. So my goal is to encourage more people like us to go for it and not be scared or not doubt themselves, because I think there's a million dollar ideas out there, and people never go through with them just because they're scared or they don't think they can. Like, it pains me to think about all the people in high school that have amazing idea and think to themselves, oh no, it's too risky, it's not possible, I can't do it, I'm just going to go to college. And then they go to college and get stuck in a job that maybe they don't enjoy. And it's like, if you would have gone through with like something you're passionate about, like the saying where it's like, if you enjoy your job, you never work a day in your life. Running a business does not feel like a job. It feels fun. I love going to work. Like, I don't know. So
Absolutely.
my final takeaway, I mean, it's also inspiring to see like someone like you, Maria, that's also out there following through with their idea and making it happen. It's also encouraging and amazing. And
Absolutely.
I hope there's people watching this that see that there are success stories. It can be done. It is possible.
Yeah.
And we're all right here in the area of Two Rivers, Manitowoc. So imagine broadening the horizons a little bit, the amount of people that are out there doing their thing. So I think that's awesome.
And also, your business idea or any sort of idea doesn't only benefit you, it benefits the community too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point. That was a big reason I started up my business. Like, I won't say it was like the reason, but it felt really good to like fill a niche in my community because there wasn't really a young, youthful, hip place in my town to hang out with your friends or like. Also, my idea was very unique where no one did have the idea, and we had one other ice cream shop in town that had limited hours. So, like, it definitely filled a hole in my community, and a lot of businesses do that because, like Katie's idea, there's not a no-kill nonprofit animal shelter in Manitowoc County. So, filling those voids is a beautiful thing.
It was really nice talking to all of you. It was like gave me a boost of energy to keep doing what I'm doing.
No, it's so great seeing like Maria's idea, Katie's idea. Like there's different options. There's different business ideas, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Todd.
I think you're on mute though.
There we go. I'm so glad that I wasn't on screen most of the time, in this event, because I was getting all weepy-eyed a couple of different points. Seriously, you all, each of you, at different points in your journey here, recognizing that you all have such wisdom and humanity that I would put up against any older entrepreneurs, out there, and we're just so grateful for your perspectives and that you've taken some time to share, the ups and downs of what you've had, and I hope we can have you guys come back again, maybe next year, and talk to us about like where you've gone from here, because I have every faith, and I'm sure Jeff does too, that you guys are going to go on and do some truly even more astounding things than you've already been able to accomplish. And Katie, we're looking forward to hearing about your no-kill dog shelter, and Maria, I know your app is going to be amazing, and Claire, you're going to have an awesome place in Sheboygan, and Emilee, you're just going to be a mogul of an ice cream empire. Just love it.
Yeah, well, Emilee, I can't wait to get some merch with the other logo that we're working on, right? And just remember, just wanted to echo, Todd's thanks, and also to say, next year, maybe we can do this, Hollywood Square style, where we have 9 boxes instead of 4.
Love that.
Because I have a feeling that we're going to get a lot more, entrepreneurs that are, in just young people with ideas, because, as Katie's proving, the idea is what drives the business. It's not the business which breeds the ideas. And, the other thing that I just want to leave you with is, if there's one thing that I could go back to, and tell myself, when I was 20 years old, is never lose the passion and the drive, because that's what brings the business. And, that's what's going to get you through the hard days. As Emilee, I know you and Maria both know, that if you're convinced that you have an idea that the world wants to buy, you're going to find a way to sell it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just a couple of quick comments here before we head out. Just some really great stuff. And I echo what Stephanie's saying here. Guys, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. And we'll be following your journeys with great interest as we go. And you have the community support and backing in moving forward. You're all wonderful. And we'll look forward to talking to you some more maybe next year. With that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this live stream broadcast. This has been the Startup Two Rivers Week events. We have one more event which is coming up. It was going to be tomorrow night, but it's actually going to be a combined event with Sheboygan on Wednesday night. It's going to be the Surge Pitch event, and it's combining for Manitowoc and Sheboygan counties. We're going to have 5 participants pitching about their business. That's I believe it's a post-revenue business idea. And so as last year we had 3 events last year in the Manitowoc Two Rivers area, and 3 this year. Maybe next year, once we're post-pandemic, we can do a little bit more and have some live get together. Yeah, I know, right? It'd be great. So stay tuned, everybody, and you can learn more about the entrepreneurial journey in our little corner of Wisconsin by going to tworiversbizstarts.com or progresslakeshore.com, or learning more about Light Up the Lakeshore as well by getting in touch with Jeff Saxey. Thank you, everybody, for spending time with us here today. And with that, we're going to go ahead and end the broadcast.